I swear this outfit comes back every time I teach Korean, but here I am again teaching you guys how to speak Korean in a K-pop audition setting, of course. Hi, I'm Irene. I create videos on K-pop auditions every single week on Sundays, but I'm also Korean and sometimes I come here to teach you guys about Korean, which honestly I don't do as often, but I really should, right? I do have a small playlist of learning Korean videos, but in this video I'm going to go over some phrases that you'll need for your K-pop audition that you guys actually asked, where I'll be translating it, teaching you guys how to pronounce it, and also show you guys the meaning behind it. And lastly, I have some final tips for Korean because I thought it would be a great way to wrap up the video. And thank you for everyone who commented in the community post that I posted a while back. It really does help because you are contributing to this video. Alright, let's just get started with the first sentence. I have my laptop here, so if I'm looking back and forth, that's what it is. So the first sentence is, I know I'm young, but I can work hard and do my best with whatever I'm given. So to say it fast, it would be 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. Now I'm going to break it down for you guys so that you can follow me while I pronounce it and obviously try it out yourself with this video. 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. So one last time. 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. So the next sentence is, I really appreciate this opportunity. Now the sentence that I have specifically talks about this opportunity, but if you take out the first word, you'll get the opportunity, which is more general and more commonly used. So the sentence is, 이번 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. If you were to directly translate it, it would be, I give you thanks for this opportunity. So you don't have to include 이번, which just translates to this. So just take that out and say, 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. So let's break it down. 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. One more time slowly. 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. Now the next phrase is, I'm a quick learner. A lot of people include this in their auditions, which kind of makes sense. However, I would actually recommend against it simply because you want to show them, not tell them that you're a quick learner. That's not really providing them with much to work with right there. Now, something that might be better than just I'm a quick learner would be to be more specific. Like let's say you're great at learning, like picking up choreographies, then maybe you want to say that specifically. So I actually translated that sentence here. I pick up choreographies pretty quickly. So that would translate to 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. Now let's say that slowly. 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. 습득 kind of means absorb, but in this context, it just makes sense in Korean. Quick learner isn't really a phrase used in Korean, so if you translate that directly, it's going to sound a little bit awkward and obvious that you translated it, and you obviously do not want that. Now, similar thing with the next sentence. So the next sentence is, even though I'm self-taught, I always look to improve myself. Now, this one, again, is one of those things that really aren't used in Korean. So in Korean, that would be 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력하겠습니다. Now, this one translates to, even though I've never received lessons in the past, I look forward, or I will work hard to improve myself. And now there is actually, now that I think about it, a word in Korean that is kind of self-taught, 독학. However, it's kind of used more so for academics, like literal self-teaching. So probably not the best context to use this in. So let me repeat that sentence once more. 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력하겠습니다. 저는 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력하겠습니다. Once more slowly because it is a longer sentence. 저는 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력해 보겠습니다. So the next sentence is, I know I'm not perfect, but I'm prepared for anything. That would translate into, 저는 완벽하지 않지만 뭐든지 준비가 되어 있습니다. 저는 완벽하지 않지만 뭐든지 준비가 되어 있습니다. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do a rundown of all of the sentences, once in a normal speed and once in a slower speed. 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. 아직 어리지만 최선을 다해 열심히 해보겠습니다. 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. 기회를 주셔서 정말 감사드립니다. 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. 저는 안무를 빨리 습득할 수 있습니다. 저는 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력해 보겠습니다. 저는 레슨을 받아본 적이 없지만 발전을 위해 열심히 노력해 보겠습니다. 저는 완벽할 수 없지만 뭐든지 준비가 되어 있습니다. 저는 완벽할 수 없지만 뭐든지 준비가 되어 있습니다. So that was a quick run through of some of the phrases that might be tricky to translate from English to Korean. Now, please feel free to watch that video once more or just repeat the sections that you feel that you need to improve on, simply because I guess pronunciation is really a practice thing. So you want to listen to it, try it out yourself, and go through that process a couple of times until you feel that you've got it. Now I'm going to actually go into the tips on improving your Korean pronunciation, even if you aren't 100% fluent in it. So the first tip is to actually use the right translating platforms. Now I always recommend Papago, which is an app, and also you can just search it up on Google as well, but it's more accurate simply because it's actually made out of Korean, made out of Korea, sorry, is what I meant to say. And because of that, the English to Korean is more accurate compared to something like Google Translate, where they try to do their best for a lot of different languages, so it's not really specific to English to Korean translating services. Yes, it does still sound like a translated sentence if you are translating from English to Korean, or vice versa, that is, but it's still much better than Google Translate and sounds a lot more natural. Number 2 is to check your pronunciation with someone who is actually fluent in Korean. And I know this isn't possible for everyone, but even in my K-pop audition course, my course members and I will go through a bunch of different pronunciation for, let's say, intro videos often, simply because it's better to have someone check over it and ensure that every single letter is pronounced correctly and everything flows perfectly so that you sound like a native Korean speaker, even if you aren't. If you do not have someone to check over your pronunciation, just record yourself and see if it sounds right is the best advice that I could offer for you. And then the last tip that I have is to never, ever, 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 ever romanize what you are learning. So let's say you have a phrase that you want to memorize and you're like, oh, but I'm not really good with reading Hangul, I'm just going to romanize it into English. That is the worst mistake you could ever make, simply because if you romanize it, you're making it a lot more English-fied, and it's not going to be as accurate if you are just, as compared to if you're just reading in Korean. So the first step to this is actually to learn Hangul. It's super simple and it's very structured, very scientific, so it should be very easy to learn. However, a lot of people don't take that process, but it's very foundational, very easy to learn too. So start with that and then start to read Hangul when you are pronouncing various sentences. If you would like more tips, I do have a video just full of tips and also where to start when you're learning Korean. So I recommend you check that video out because I think it just goes over every single little tip that I have. But that is it for this video. Please let me know if there are other sentences that you would like me to translate and other Korean related content that you would like to see related to K-pop auditions. Even if it's not, still let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.